Díagwit gach duine an teachtain seo tá méid ag leanúint araig le Caitheamh Aimsire. So this week we're continuing on with past times. Ag leanúint araig, continuing on. Okay, inis. Feich na Caitheamh Aimsire. An Gwyvan Lat na Caitheamh Aimsire. Do you remember them? An Gwyvan Lat. Do you remember them? Cad é an céad ceann? First one. Now remember, you need to say this out loud at the video. So cad é an céad ceann? What's the first one? Ag imirt pella. Ag imirt pella. Playing football. Cad é an dara ceann? Second one. Ag imirt amániachta. Ag imirt amániachta. Playing hurling. Cad é an tríú ceann? Ag imirt rugby. Ag imirt rugby. Playing rugby. Cad é an ceathrú ceann? Ag imirt camogiachta. Ag imirt camogiachta. Playing camogie. Agus cad é an cúgú ceann? Fifth one. Ag imirt fís cluiche. Ag imirt fís cluiche. Playing video games. Ag imirt pella. Ag imirt amániachta. Ag imirt rugby. Ag imirt camogiachta. Ag imirt fís cluiche. What do you see in common with these first five on the first line? Come on, spot the pattern. That's right. Ag imirt. Playing. Ag imirt. Playing. So in English, sometimes you might say, I am hurling, or you might say, I am footballing. But usually you wouldn't say that, would you? You would say, I am playing football, I am playing hurling, I am playing rugby. So that's where our ag imirt comes from. It's playing, and then the next bit is the name of the sport. So I've grouped them together there because they all have ag imirt. Now, feich an dara líne. Let's look at the second line. An dara líne. So cad é an céad ceann an dara líne? What's the first one on the second line? Ag déanamh luath clasiachta. Ag déanamh luath clasiachta. Doing athletics. Cad é an dara ceann? Ag déanamh glaciachta. Ag déanamh glaciachta. Doing gymnastics. Cad é an tríú ceann? Ag déanamh garadóireachta. Ag déanamh garadóireachta. Doing gardening. Cad é an ceathrú ceann? Ag déanamh cócaráachta. Ag déanamh cócaráachta. So, an bhfeiceann tú pátrún an seo. Do you see a pattern here? Ag déanamh luath clasiachta, ag déanamh glaciachta, ag déanamh garadóireachta, ag déanamh cócaráachta. That's right, it's ag déanamh, doing. Doing athletics, doing gymnastics, doing gardening, doing cooking. Okay, so ag déanamh, ag déanamh, ag déanamh. Doing, doing, doing. And that's why they're grouped together. Now we'll see there's a little one here all by itself. Ag bailiú rudaí. Ag bailiú rudaí. Collecting things. And you might say ag bailiú jellycats, collecting jellycats. Ag bailiú LOLs. Ag bailiú Pokemon. Okay, but it's ag bailiú collecting. Now, céir faoi an tríú líne, the third line. Céir faoi an céad ceann? Ag canna, singing. An dara ceann? Ag dausa, dancing. An tríú ceann? Ag paintball, painting. An ceathrú ceann? Ag tarraingt, drawing. Agus an cúgú ceann? Ag códú, coding. So, an bhfeiceann tú pátrún an seo. Do you see a pattern here? Well, the pattern is that these guys actually don't have an additional word in front of them. So in the first line we had ag imirch for playing. The second line we had ag Caitheamh for doing. But here we wouldn't say playing singing or doing singing. We would just say singing, wouldn't we? So it's ag Cana, singing by itself. Ag Dousa, dancing by itself. Ag Paintal, ag Tarrant, ag Codu, painting, drawing, coding by themselves. So let's have a look at those groups again. First group is the ag imirch group for playing. Second group is the ag Caitheamh group for doing. The third one there by itself is the ag Bailú for collecting. And the last one, they don't have an extra word. They all do their own thing. And that's important because this week, Baimid ag Scríomh Aibreachi, we're going to be writing sentences about Caitheamh Aimsire. And I'm going to show you a few sentences you might write, and then you can write those ones or you can write your own ones at the end. It's up to you. Again, we would be expecting a few sentences. It's not just one. We'd be expecting you to try hard and maybe go and use an online dictionary if you're stuck for words, okay? Please don't just put English words in when you don't understand the Irish words. Do a bit of independent work. Go, try hard, look it up on the internet, or if you have an Irish dictionary in your house, look it up in that. Don't just throw English words in there. So, on Céad Aibreach, the first sentence. Well, what do you think the first sentence about a hobby would be? Can you do it? Is féidir liom, I can. That would probably be my first sentence. So, is féidir liom ag imirch pella? I can play football. Is féidir liom ag Caitheamh luath glasiachta? I can do athletics. Now, I'm going to give you a hint here. We'll drop the egg because saying is féidir liom ag imirch pella means I can playing football, which doesn't really make sense. And is féidir liom ag Caitheamh luath glasiachta would be I can doing athletics, which wouldn't really make sense. So we just drop the egg. Is féidir liom imirch pella? Is féidir liom imirch amaniachta? Is féidir liom imirch rugby? Is féidir liom Caitheamh luath glasiachta? Is féidir liom Caitheamh glaciachta? Is féidir liom Caitheamh garadóireachta? Is féidir liom Cana? Is féidir liom Dousa? Is féidir liom Paintal? Is féidir liom Tarrant? Is féidir liom Codu? So we just drop the egg, and that means we're cutting off the ing because it just wouldn't make sense. So is féidir liom, I can. Ní féidir liom, I can't. That could be something you could write. You could be saying, I can't do gymnastics. Ní féidir liom Caitheamh glaciachta. So, is féidir liom, ní féidir liom. What would be your next sentence probably be? Is maith liom. You like it. You shouldn't really have a hobby if you don't like it. So again, we'll drop the egg. So is maith liom imirch pella, is maith liom imirch rugby, is maith liom tarrant, is maith liom codu. Is bra liom means you like it a bit more. It means you really like it or you love it. Is bra liom, again drop the egg. Is bra liom paintal, is bra liom imirch fish is bra liom bailú jelly cats. Is even liom, now that means you love it, like you're crazy about it. And again, we drop the egg. Is even liom Caitheamh cócaireachta? Is even liom imirch camogiachta? Is even liom Cana? I love these things. Now, if we know all of those, we know how to say you don't like them. So ní maith liom Caitheamh cócaireachta, ní maith liom paintal. Okay. Now, let's go one step further. Is fuail liom, I hate it. Is fuail liom, I hate it. Is fuail liom imirch pella? Is fuail liom imirch rugby? Is fuail liom imirch camogiachta? I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Now, remember we talked about pushing yourself. Here's a way to push yourself. Make your sentence longer. So, is maith liom something mar tá sé. So I like this because it is that. So an example would be is maith liom tarrant mar tá sé simú. I like drawing because it is interesting. Simul, interesting. Simul, interesting. Is maithluam Déanamh Garadóireachta mar tá sé simú. Is maithluam códú mar tá sé simú. Is maithluam bailiú rudaí mar tá sé simú. Then we could say, I don't like it because it isn't this thing. So we could say, Ní maithluam domsa mar níl sé simú. I don't like dancing because it isn't interesting. Ní maithluam domsa mar níl sé simú. Is maithluam immert amánaíochta mar tá sé sláintiúil. Here's a new one. Sláintiúil. You've probably heard Irish people say sláinte before, and it means good health. Sláintiúil means healthy. So is maithluam immert rugby mar tá sé sláintiúil. I like playing rugby because it's healthy. Or we could say, Ní maithluam códú mar níl sé sláintiúil. I don't like coding because it is not healthy. It isn't healthy. Here's a new one. Bríomhar, which means energetic or like full of energy and full of life. So, is maithluam domsa mar tá sé bríomhar. Is maithluam Déanamh Gallaíochta mar tá sé bríomhar. And then the opposite would be, Ní maithluam paintal mar níl sé bríomhar. I don't like painting because it isn't energetic. Here's a new one now. Suamhnach, relaxing. Suamhnach, relaxing. Is maithluam bailiú rudaí mar tá sé suamhnach. Is maithluam paintal mar tá sé suamhnach. Is maithluam tarraingt mar tá sé suamhnach. And again the opposite would be, Ní maithluam immert pella mar níl sé suamhnach. It is not relaxing. Ní maithluam immert físclaithe mar níl sé suamhnach. Now we're moving on to a new type of sentence, which is, I like this, is maithluam, but I prefer this, ach is fearluam. And you know this from before. So, is maithluam immert pella, ach is fearluam immert amánaíochta. Like playing football, but I prefer hurling. Is maithluam immert rugby, ach is fearluam immert camogiaachta. Is maithluam canna, ach is fearluam domsa. I like this, but I prefer that. Here's another way of saying you prefer something. You say, an Caitheamh Aimsire is fearluam. This is you saying, this is my favourite pastime. Is a immert pella an Caitheamh Aimsire is fearluam. Is a códú an Caitheamh Aimsire is fearluam. Is a Déanamh Gallaíochta an Caitheamh Aimsire is fearluam. Is a domsa an Caitheamh Aimsire is fearluam. Now, here's another slightly more difficult sentence. Thosaigh mé, I started. So thosaigh mé ag Déanamh Garadóireachta, nuair a bhí mé, when I was. So thosaigh mé ag Déanamh Garadóireachta, nuair a bhí mé 10 mbliana d'aois. I started gardening when I was 10 years old. And we'll just have a little recap on how to do our ages. So, thosaigh mé ag immert rugby nuair a bhí mé 6 mbliana d'aois. I started playing rugby when I was 6 years old. Now, I want you to have a look at 6 mbliana d'aois. 6 is my number 6. Mbliana is the word for years, and d'aois means of age. Look at mbliana, B-H. I want you to pay attention to that. If you are 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, you say mbliana d'aois with a BH. Okay, so ages 2 up to 6. Thosaigh mé ag paintal nuair a bhí mé 3 mbliana d'aois, 4 mbliana d'aois, 5 mbliana d'aois, 6 mbliana d'aois with a BH. You're a little bit older though. Have a look at this one, seacht mbliana d'aois. Do you see the difference? It starts with an M. So seacht mbliana d'aois, 8 mbliana d'aois, 9 mbliana d'aois, 10 mbliana d'aois, 7, 8, 9, 10. We do an M at the start. So remember, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, BH. Vliana Dish. 7, 8, 9, 10, M. Miliana Dish. And then for those of you that are a little bit older, we use the word daig for teen. So here it's ein vlian daig dish, 1 year and 10, which means 11. If you were 12, it would be ga vliana daig dish. And now, do you remember the rules for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? And the rules for 7, 8, 9, and 10? Well, we use the same rules when we're talking about our teens. So if you were 13, it would be 3 vliana daig dish with a BH. If you were 14, it'd be Kera Vliana daig dish with a BH. But if you were 17, it would be Shocked Mliana daig dish with an M. If you were 18, it'd be Ucht Mliana daig dish with an M. So remember that rule. If you don't get it every time you make a mistake, it's okay. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, give it a BH. 7, 8, 9, 10, give it an M. So that's a little slightly more complicated sentence for you to say when you started your hobby. Okay. Next one we can do is have a look at our merch sentences. So we remember from the I'm sure Loihruk, if we want to say I do something all the time, that's my I'm sure Loihruk, that's my present tense. So here's another sentence we could say. We could say Im riam. So Im riam pella, I play football. Im riam pella gach, I play football every. And then you could say Im riam pella gach law, every day. Gach shakten, every week. Gach derdeen, every Thursday. Gach sahern, every Saturday. Gach me, every month. Our other one you could say is Im riam imaniachta le mo. I play hurling with my. So we could say Im riam imaniachta le mo yad, with my dad. Le mo grahar, with my brother. Le mo grifer, with my sister. Le mo chara isfiar, with my best friend. Le mo wam, with my mom. Le mo yado, with my dad, with my granddad. So their Im riam is our way of saying playing all the time. And now we'll see something kind of similar in the next slide. Caitheamh is doing something all the time. So we would say Caitheamh luath clasiachta gach law. I do athletics every day. Caitheamh glaciachta le mo col cahar. I do gymnastics with my cousin. And then you'll see at the bottom Baliam for the collecting one. So Baliam Pokemon Gach Downach. I collect my Pokemons every Sunday. Baliam Pokemon Gach Law. I collect Pokemon every day. Or you could say Baliam Jellycats Lemogriffur. I collect Jellycats with my sister. Baliam Jellycats Lemowamo. I collect Jellycats with my granny. And our very last one is beam. Now, be is the verb to be. Okay, so if I say beam ag canna, it means, and this kind of is where some of the funny slang in Irish, in the way we speak English in Irish, some of the funny slang from that comes out of the way our Irish language works. So you might hear somebody saying, he does be singing all the time, or she does be dancing all the time. It's not proper English, but it actually comes from the way we speak Irish. So you could say, Bíam ag canna, I do be singing. That's kind of the funny translation of it. So Bíam ag canna gach Sunday means, it doesn't mean I sing every Sunday, it really means I do be singing every Sunday. So Bíam ag canna gach downach, I sing every Sunday. Bíam ag dausa gach shachtan, I dance every week. Bíam ag tarint gach law, I draw every day. And again, Bíam ag codu le macara, I code with my friend. Bíam ag paintall le mo wam, I paint with my mom. So let's just have a little recap on the different sentences we learned. You can Rewind the video back if you need to hear them again, or at the end of this you could just pause the video on this screen and that might help you write your sentences. Is féidir liom or ní féidir liom? I can do it or I can't do it. Is maith liom, bra liom, even liom? I like it, I really like it, I love it. Or ní maith liom, bra liom, even liom? I don't like it, I don't love it. Is maith liom mar tá sé? I like this because it is that. Or ní maith liom mar níl sé. I don't like this because it isn't that. Is maith liom ach is fear liom? I like this, but I prefer that. Is é and Caitheamh Aimsire is fear liom. This is my favourite pastime. Thosaigh mé nuair a bhí mé. I started this when I was this age. Agus an ceann dearnach, our last one. Imriam, I play all the time. Janam, I do all the time. Biam, I am all the time. And we said we could talk about every day, every week, every Monday, or we could talk about doing that le mo, with my. Okay, so like I said, you can pause it on this screen if it helps you. If you need to go back to the slides for each sentence to get a bit more information, you can. If you're looking for adjectives, like to say if something is interesting or fun, please use a dictionary. And please don't just put English words in when you don't know. Go and actually look them up. Okay, good luck with that. I'm sure you'll do a great job.